Hello, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's going on?
It's Wednesday. Another week down, right?
Oh my God. I wish it was Friday. I wish right
See,
now.
now I got you saying that too, right? I wish it was Friday. I wish it was Friday too.
Yeah, it's been the most ridiculous day. Like, I literally got into my hotel 10 minutes ago, and boy, do I have some rants tonight.
There we go. We got her on cam tonight. Look at those ears. I love those ears.
I love them.
And they do something else.
They do, but I didn't know if that would bother people.
Oh, they
Right?
flash.
Look at that. Oh, I love it.
So if it bothers anyone, I didn't want to do that.
Those are cute.
But I think mine are cuter than Death Noodles because mine are pink with a blue light, even though it looks white.
They are definitely cuter than Deaf Noodles. That's for damn sure.
So yeah, I've had some technical difficulties. It would not let me. I had to unplug everything and join the stream and then plug it all back in. I'm not sure why.
It was saying the same, like, so you did it twice and it was saying device not connected. And then when Kim came on, it said it for a second and then it was fine. And then you came on and it was fine the third time you came on.
Like, I just closed everything out and just redid it. So sorry we're late, y'all. My fault. Oh, thank you, Truffle. That's very sweet of you.
Yes. Aw. Everyone loves them, see? Even Police Wife said they're adorable. So let's just say hi to everybody. We got Cher here. We got T-Spiracy here. We got LRC. We got Police Wife Life. We got Words Have Power Murder Hour, which I was just on her stream listening, and she had a very interesting stream today. We have Snoop. I love you, girl. We have Truffle. Rarely Care. Hello, hello. I'm glad to see you here. I think that's everyone, and if we missed you, hello. If you're on the replay, we love you. Thank you for coming and listening. Man, it's been a hell of a week, and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, like I need to drink.
I think the fan noise is Stacy, it seems like.
Oh, are you hearing that too? I thought maybe it was my...
I think the mic is picking up my computer tonight.
I think that's what's going on, yeah. If it bothers anyone, let us know. We'll try and fix it, but hey, it doesn't bother me, but if it bothers somebody else, let us know. So we have a lot to rant about. Who wants to start? I don't really have but one rant, and it's kind of our topic of the night, so I'm going to wait. The only thing I wanted to say was, if I order a medium latte at Dunkin' Donuts with whipped cream and you add that little bubble lid, give me a large straw, not a small straw. It doesn't work out. Hey, Elizabeth.
I feel like every week we have rants about our coffee.
Dunkin', Starbucks. Yeah, I know.
Because one of my rants tonight, I have a letter, an open letter to Starbucks. Dear Starbucks.
I would love to hear it.
Does it include my oat milk that they will not put back in stock?
It does.
Hey, the fan noise stopped.
So dear Starbucks, why do you always run out of the best food that you carry, such as the ham and Swiss croissant? There is no store south of the Mason-Dixon line that has that thing in stock. And it's annoying for me to go through your drive-thru and not be able to order it. Also, why is lemon cake always sold out? Don't understand it. Gets on my damn nerves because I like lemon cake with my coffee. And lastly, oat milk, because just do it for all of us.
Yes.
Sincerely, the entire country. Thank you.
And like, obviously, nobody likes your little Rice Krispie treats or your other croissant flavors because you always have those.
I
So
know.
just
They
make
always
more
have
of the
gross-
ones that people like.
Right. Like, okay, are you going to go, if you drive to McDonald's and they're like, sorry, we're out of French fries. Like, seriously? What the heck? It's the same thing. Starbucks, you are known for your lemon loaf cake. You are
Their
known
signs,
for certain things.
McDonald's sign says over 2 billion hamburgers served, and you pull up and they're like, I'm sorry, we are out of hamburgers.
Exactly. You know, your Starbucks is losing a lot of money. I'm not going to stop going there. I'm not going to. They have me under their control. However, I really want a freaking ham and Swiss croissant.
So my mom forgot about that she was supposed to like meet me for lunch today. And so she did not show up. And it made her feel really bad. So she brought me a Starbucks. So, but it wasn't as good without the oat milk, I'll have to say.
Yeah, Knuckles, we're still on the oat milk thing. They want their oat milk, God damn it. Give them their oat milk.
I think the most irritating part about the oat milk thing, and I don't know if you've noticed, Kim, but on the app it tells you it's out of season.
Yeah, what the hell? Or not available at this location. And I'm like, yeah, duh. It's not available anywhere. Kind of like your ham and Swiss croissants. Oh,
I have never heard of a Wawa. What's that?
Oh,
Wawa's
Wawa's
like a
fantastic.
Krausers.
It's what?
Oh, you've never heard of Krausers? So it's like
Wawa is a gas station that
it's
also
a gas
has a
station.
It is. It's a gas station. It also has a restaurant inside of it. So you can go in and order sandwiches, subs. They have like the Coke machines that you can do the 1.5 million flavors and pick them on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Wawa was not originally in the South. It was always in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And Gate Station was in the South. And there's a war between the two of them, by the way, which I found really interesting. So now Wawa and Gate are they've crossed each other's lines, and they're wherever there's a Gate station, they're building a Wawa. Wherever there's a Wawa up north, they're building a Gate station. It's kind of funny.
Conspiracy. See, Wawa's up here when they were up north, they turned all into Krausers. And Krausers up here is not a gas station. They're just the convenience store with the food area. So that's crazy. They have gas stations. I wish my Krausers has gas stations. See, all the old people around here, like my mom's generation, will say, oh, Wawa still. But it's Krausers to us younger kids, I guess you can say. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, see, we have like the come and goes where you can go buy like a gallon thing to refill that you can just fill up with as much soda as you want. But
Uganda Knuckles, do you have Krausers? Because Wawa's was Krausers or is Krausers. So if you have Krausers, because you're only a state away, so I'm thinking you should have Krausers. Or we'll just ask T. T, do you have Krausers where you live? Because those are the same thing.
so around here, we just have like random truck stops that you can get restaurants, but you're not getting like fancy coffee in there.
No, truck stop restaurants are so interesting, but they're also usually really good food too, which is funny to think about. But I love me some truck stop restaurants.
Krausers. It's spelled.
Like my favorite thing to get from the truck stop restaurants when I was growing up were those nasty like pizza sticks. And thinking about it now, I would not be able to eat one. But they were almost like a long hot pocket, but they would deep fry it. So super healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. They don't have Krausers or Wawas a state away from me. Wow. That's crazy. We have so many everywhere. Like, that is like every town has a Krauser/Wawa's, because that's what it is.
Oh, well, see, in Arkansas, every town has a Walmart or a Walmart neighborhood market.
Oh yeah, in Florida too.
A Walmart neighborhood market?
Yeah.
It's like a
Is
grocery
that what
store.
it's called?
Yeah.
And so, some towns have a neighborhood market and a super center.
Yes.
Wow. See, we only have regular Walmart or Walmart Supercenter, which they're not even open 24 hours anymore. And I'm disappointed.
But, you know, I live in Walmart country, so that's all we have.
Yeah. What was your rant of the night, Stace?
So I should have not gotten on Twitter today, first of all. But the first thing that popped up was Deaf Noodles shared about this woman who I guess is some kind of mommy blogger influencer type thing. I'm not really sure. I didn't care enough to go find out who she was.
Yep.
But they have
have
had
the
a
video.
dog for about 8 or 9 years, and the dog bit their small child. And
Yeah.
since they had the dog for 8 or 9 years, they couldn't think about giving it away and rehoming it. So instead, they did a photo shoot with the dog smiling, looking sweet as can be while they were sad, right before having someone come over to put him down.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And then they did an apology video about this where they pretended to cry. I was so mad, and it was such a beautiful little dog. Like, I'm so mad.
So
I have the video for you.
Yeah. I saw part of the video. I wondered, because in a lot of places, like, vets will not put an animal down. And I wonder if it's because he bit the child that they'll put him down. I'm not sure. There's laws in different places, but it really surprised me. So you're saying someone came to the house and put
That's
the dog
what they
down?
said, because in their video, he's like, I'm glad that we waited and he was able to go home or able to like end it here peacefully.
Yeah.
Like, it's a disgusting scenario. I wish
Well-
Deaf Noodles didn't post so much. I would just try to pull it up.
I also agree with you. I think it's disgusting because there's so many people, like rehabilitation services out there for dogs who have had this problem where they bite people or they have some kind of like anger issue or food aggression, whatever, and you can easily rehome a 9-year-old dog. That's not a problem. I think what's truly appalling about this is the fact that they took a photo shoot with the dog. Like, that was just too far, right?
Yes.
Yes. That's just, that's like knowing I don't know. That's just so weird to me that they would do that. Like, you know you're going to do this, so let's have one last photo shoot before we go and take the dog's life. Like, that to me was crazy.
Here, I actually did find it.
I have the video from Deaf Noodles if you want me to share that one.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up.
Oh, I have it pulled up too. Yours is better looking though. Yours is better looking.
Yeah, Rarely Care said that in a lot of places, if a dog bites a child, it's common practice to put the dog down. And I think I've heard that in Florida that's the case. But
I know sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Where you're from.
I know where I live. So my ex-boyfriend had a dog, and the dog bit some person trying to break into my apartment at the time, which he well deserved. And he reported that to the cops. That's a whole story for a different day. And then the dog bit his neighbor downstairs. And this dog was the nicest dog in the world. And they had done something to provoke the dog. And the cops came and they reported it. And because it was a second strike, we had to put his dog down. So I know it's like a law here in where I live that if a dog bites someone twice and it's reported, they have to put it down.
Yeah. In a lot of cases, animals don't bite children like randomly. I'm sure there are some that have been raised with aggressively or dog fighting rings that are very dangerous animals. But if you've raised your dog in your house for 9 years, that dog knows that child, and it probably, and I'm not going to say it was because I don't know, but in most cases it's provoked. Like the child's messing with the dog and the dog has had enough and they turn around and snap at them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that has happened a lot, and a lot of people don't report it because if the child's okay, the dog didn't like, pin the child to the ground and severely hurt them. If they just snapped at them and caught a little bit of their skin, they're going to say, okay, well, we need to keep them separate and maybe take the dog to therapy or something, training classes. But this to me is so bizarre to have this whole photo shoot thing. Like, if you're angry enough at the dog to end its life, why would you go through all of that?
Yeah.
And see, that's one thing that I was asked. I think I asked Jackie about that earlier. Like, we don't know what caused the dog to bite the child, because my mom's dog gets really uncomfortable around my niece because she has lived with my mother, or he has lived with my mother for like the entirety of his life, who had no children up until she became a grandma and now has a grandchild that comes over.
Yeah.
So he just leaves the room. Like, he doesn't, try to bite her or anything, but he's never been around children. So this dog that they've had for 9 years has probably never been around children until they had a child. And we don't know what the child was doing.
Now, T, when you say you had to get rid of your dog, did you rehome it? Or, because that's understandable. It kept nipping at your daughter. This dog only bit the young child once. They could have done lessons. They could have, like Stacy said, separated them. They could have tried different things. See why the dog bit her to begin with. Like, if she provoked it, things like that. Like, there are things to do.
Well, and like elderly people are usually really good homes for older dogs, because a lot of your shelters don't like to adopt puppies to an elderly couple or elderly person.
Yeah.
Yep. I've heard of animals that have been like nippers, and my sister had a dog that just did not get along with the kids and was extremely nervous. Sometimes dogs, especially rescues, like my sister has a zoo, and I swear everything, she comes by all of her animals, honestly, but there's so many cats, dogs, I don't know. And she had one that just, once you get a dog that's from like a shelter, you don't know what their past life was, and they could have trauma and all those things. And sometimes it's not a good fit, but rehoming a dog is pretty easy, especially if you know a lot of people. Like,
yeah.
I have found homes for dogs for people before who said, I can't take care of the dog, or some of my friends who were sent overseas in the military. So I think they could have done something.
Let's watch the video really quick and see how this goes for everyone that hasn't seen it.
Out the door, right? And in the moment, I'm thinking, I grew up with the movie Old Yeller, and I wanted to pick Bowser up by the back of the neck and take him into the backyard and put him down right there. We actually didn't end up leaving that day. We ended up going to the airport, and then there was just
So, like, they even did like editing on this, right?
Yeah,
that was a jump cut, right?
That was a jump cut for sure.
And word puzzler specialist says the parents confirmed that the child had teased it and actually was trying to take its food.
Wow.
a few things that happened, and we just canceled it and scheduled it for the next day. So we got home and we ended up having like the best day. Like all day ended up being, I just remember saying that out loud. Like, I'm glad we didn't travel today and have the worst
Ended up
day.
being the best day.
We came back and we all had the best day together. So
and then she puts her head on his shoulder. Come on.
Yeah. So, like you said,
that looked so natural too, didn't it?
it was really
So natural.
after.
Oh, her face was stupid. That was total acting.
Yeah. Do it for the gram. Ugh, Deaf Noodles, where do you find these crazy things? I mean, I get it. He's crazy. He always has the craziest stories on his Twitter and stuff. But damn, like these people, I don't know. You can tell they do things for YouTube. Clearly.
Shoot, I forgot I was muted. I was talking to you. I kind of wonder when Deaf Noodles sleeps.
Right?
I know. Never.
I mean, I get it. I don't sleep either, but damn.
I just don't understand, like, what kind of excuses. We've had the dog so long that we obviously couldn't rehome him.
They could have rehomed that dog. They could have tried harder. Like, they could have put the dog in a different room until they found a new home. Like, they made it seem like they needed to do it right then and there. Like,
It was extremely bad acting.
yes, it was.
Yeah, she was not sincere at all in that. And
He
it
didn't
just
look
makes
like he even wanted to be touched by her. They actually kind of, their body language looked like they don't even like each other that much.
They probably don't. You know, family bloggers, vloggers, whatever you want to call them. Like all that stuff is so fake that none of it's real. They put their best foot forward and then everybody else feels like crap because they're like, I don't have a life like that. I don't live in a big mansion with everything is perfectly white with 6 kids running around. Let me tell you, real life, nothing would be white. It would look like a murder scene in there because there would be stuff on the walls. Children would be coloring on the walls. They don't show you any of that, but that's what really happens for all of, everyone out there who has kids,
Well, and I guess my husband and I, that's just not how, like, the whole, like, oh, I love you more, sweetie. No, I love you. No, we're mean to each other. I thought that was how you knew that you loved each other.
Well, you all saw, Jackie and Stacy saw my text message about my husband 4 minutes before the stream started. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah, sometimes we are mean to each other.
Like, like Kim said, it's when the, like, real true love is when you look at him and you're like, I could have put poison in your drink. Here's you some lemonade.
Right. But I chose to keep you. You're welcome.
Before this time, I was like, F Jake, and he walked by and goes, F Jake what? And I'm like, F you!
Like, who knows? You'll do something eventually, and I'm just getting it out now.
Right?
But no, like, I actually have a pretty healthy relationship with my husband, but I don't sit around, like, telling people that it's some fairy tale that it's not. And that's my problem with the family vloggers, Instagrammer type aesthetic. They're like, oh, everything's just rainbows. And you're like, I don't care how much you love someone. No two people get along 100% of the time. And the more time you spend with somebody, the more often you're probably going to bicker a little bit.
Of course. I mean,
yes. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, I believe.
That's true too.
You have to be honest with each other. I mean, my husband and I joke around a lot with each other, but we've been married for 8 years and it's just normal for us to be that way. And if I have a bad day like today and he's annoying me, I'm going to tell him that he's annoying me. But family vloggers don't show that stuff. It's always so lovey-dovey and everything's wonderful. And I just can't stand it.
Oh, yes, words have power. It is totally a thing. And they'll exploit the heck out of their little kitties.
Yeah.
Stuff that you should be doing privately with your child as they grow and mature into a teen and then an adult, they'll make into content. Like, it's disgusting what these family vloggers will do.
I think they think it's like reality television, but they're the ones directing and filming it. Like, they wish they could be a reality television show, so they're going to make it that way to try and get that TV show.
Well, once they're big enough, they're not directing it themselves and just writing scripts. At that point, when they have managers and all of the other things from YouTube, they become a brand. Their name is a brand. They don't make the rules anymore. They're told, do this kind of episode, like do this kind of a video for YouTube and put this on Instagram. And it's really strange and then it's absolutely not real after that. Like when they're first starting out, it might be, but family vloggers are they're very real. One even adopted a child and then rehomed the child when she decided that the child was too much for her. Just
And you know,
so she could make
now
money.
that I've been watching your channel, Words Have Power, I would love it if you delved into some of the family vlogger stuff.
And
I think you
we're
would have
happy to
a
help.
wonderful take on that.
We're happy to help introduce you to a couple. We know a few channels that you would look at and be like, oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right, Police Wife Life. I might not always like you, but I'll always love you. Which
Yep.
I've been married almost 14 years, but we've been together 18. So we've been together longer than we haven't. And we still get along and we still love each other without having to pretend for Instagram.
Oh my God.
Yes, words have power. A child. That is true. And Knuckles has a really good point here about these children don't have an option. They don't have a choice to be made into a brand and their whole lives put on the internet. And that really sucks for them because when they're older, they're going to look back on this and it might not be the way they remembered it. Or they might see something that they don't like about what their parents did. And it's there. It's on the internet forever for the world to see. And oh, by the way, there's really horrible people out there who love kids. Duggar.
Do you remember which one it was that like filmed her taking her daughter shopping for her first undergarment?
No, I do not.
I can't remember which one that was, but can you imagine how mortified you would have been if your mother had filmed that and posted it for hundreds of thousands of people to see?
Was that Ruby? Was it 8 passengers? Maybe
It might have been.
I think you're right. I think it was 8 passengers.
She's a next level kind of mom. Like,
Isn't she the one that also like put together like a kit for young ladies to keep with them on camera for her daughter?
I'm not, I don't know about that. What I do know is that they sent their son to a rehabilitation camp. They also made their son sleep. They took all the furniture out of their son's room, including his bed, for 9 months, and made him.
And took his door.
And they took his door. He had no privacy. 16-year-old boy, I think. 16 or 17.
And you want to know what he did?
Yeah, didn't he just aggravate his sister or something stupid like that?
He played a prank on his brother by waking him up, telling him they were going to go to Disney World when they weren't. And that was his punishment.
So and by the way, 8 passengers, they will come after you for talking about them. They've done it to several channels. I don't think we're big enough for them to care.
Yeah.
But, making your child sleep on a floor when you live in a mansion and you can't afford a bed is 100% child abuse.
And I think that they have like the same lawyer they use is like one that high-powered celebrities use. Like it's a very expensive attorney that sends these things out for them.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that way they can, feel like they're big and powerful and look who I have as my attorney. You better believe me now. Hey, Tessie.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing that they did, and then I'll get off the subject, is when her 5-year-old kindergarten age child forgot her lunch, the teacher called her and said, "Hi, can you please bring a lunch up for your daughter? She forgot her lunch today." And this lady said, "No, it's her responsibility to make her lunch. She forgot it, so she can go hungry for the day."
Wow.
Yes. And the part that made me the angriest about this is that it's her daughter's job to make her own lunch. Do you want to guess what kind of lunch I would be eating if you left me up to my own devices to make it myself at 5 and didn't even check to see if I had?
What?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because
it would be the worst stuff that I could find in the cabinets. Like I would find a way to pack ice cream and take that to school.
Like you would open up my lunchbox and it would be like, all right, I got some fruit roll-ups. Here's a fruit by the foot. So I got a bunch of fruit.
Dunkaroos?
Yes, Dunkaroos. One of those little cracker packages with the cheese spread. Those are always nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, so you got protein and
Pop-Tarts.
fruit and carbohydrates. You're doing good.
Be like, and then there's some Cokes over here, so I'll pack a Coke to drink.
Right? Mine would have been
Yes.
Mountain Dew. Oh my God. Mountain
then
Actually,
Dew, Mountain Dew, Mountain
When
Dew.
I was a kid, it would have been Surge, sadly, because I'm that old.
Oh,
Yeah.
Surge.
Oh, yeah.
I
Surge
love
is good.
Surge.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what my lunch would have consisted of. Like, oh, Mom made chocolate dipped pretzels. I'll take some of those.
Yeah, they're a family to look at. I mean, the Ace family is no better, but the Ace family wasn't the one to do the make the kit. That was definitely
I think
the
Ace
passenger.
Family just like tries to sell you a bunch of stuff that isn't real.
Yeah.
That's exactly, yeah. They're more about sponsors and selling you things, and we have this happy little family, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen them do anything horrible to their children. I mean, I could be wrong because
Yes.
I cannot watch them. But I've not heard anything. I've definitely heard about 8 passengers, Micah Stauffer rehoming her child.
Yeah.
Who else is really bad about it? There's a family called.
Well, you have like Tasha K and
Oh,
her
yeah.
kids.
I mean, I honestly think that all lunches at school should be free for every child unless you don't want it.
Yeah.
In the county that I live in, they are. Pre-COVID they weren't, and there were just what are they called? Title I schools there's Title I all over the country. Title I schools, it was free, but now it's free like in my whole county and several counties around me, which is good. And they give lunches during the summer. So they have a program where you just drive up to certain schools, and it doesn't matter if your children are in that school or not, as long as you have children under the age of 18 in your car, they will give you that amount of meals. So you could roll up there with 4 kids and they're going to give you 4 meals. They don't ask any questions.
Hey, listen.
So for my 7th and 8th grade years, Truffle, we had a soda machine still too. So when you got your lunch, instead of getting milk, you could get one of those old diner looking red plastic cups and you could just refill it with soda all day.
Oh, that's nice. My my aunt, well, my uncle's, I call her my aunt. My uncle's girlfriend works for a school system, and now with COVID, because a lot of kids are still being like at home and doing school from at home, they're giving away food for the families, like lunches that they would provide for the kids, but they're giving them once a week all the food for the weekend, the weekends, and all of that, and whatever is extra, she brings home for me and his kids and my cousins' kids and all of that. So I'll take the extras because those are good. What they make for these kids.
That's what we had. Our schools were putting together like packages, and you could come drive through, and they would give them to you, and it was enough food for the whole family.
Yeah,
and that's what was so sad is that it would open at 9 a.m. and that like 9:40 they'd have to be like, we're out.
Wow. See, they have too much that. Well, they do. Every district has their own, so they have so much extra that they're giving extra out to more and more people because they just have so much that people are donating or buying for the school system, and then what the government gives them to buy and all of that. Then they have like local shops that are donating stuff, and they get a lot of food every week. Hey, I don't mind, like I said.
Oh, look, Camille did make it.
He's
Hi,
here.
Camille.
During last summer, like during shutdown and last summer, we did. I would take the kids up there, and there's several kids in my neighborhood too. So we would go up every day just to get out of the house because shutdown was horrible.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, my kids like the food, and a lot of the stuff like the apples and the oranges that they would put in there, things that that weren't going to perish quickly, but weren't like hot food, things that you could pass along to someone else. Yeah. We were collecting them and giving them out to families around us that we knew
that's
that
nice.
needed extra. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people that do that and taking stuff to food banks, and I do think it's a good thought to have everyone, like, to be able to have food for the whole family. In my area, the government paid, okay, this is crazy. The government paid Burger King if you bought like one adult meal, they would give you 2 free kids meals every single day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See,
I
they're
never
doing the
used
same
that
thing
one.
for Jen Hobbs. That she said the elementary school by her house goes and picks up lunches every day for the entire house, and on the holidays they give out huge boxes for only the kids. That's awesome. And I agree. Kids should never go hungry. Well, do you have another rant of the night, Stace?
So I don't have another rant. I know that we did want to give a little bit of the updates on. So
Well, that's kind of a rant because
yeah,
we found out. We found
Well-
out some things.
we were going to say for the rest of the night, we will be discussing topics that involve
Real entertainment news.
and essay and things like that. So if
Yeah.
that does bother you, we will not hold it against you. If you have to leave us, if you're watching the replay, if you want to skip forward, or actually we're going to be talking about the rest of the night. If you
For the
want to
rest
cut
of
it
the
off
night,
here, we won't hold it against you one bit. But we did want to give an update on what happened with Josh Duggar. And then we are going to be talking about R.E.N. And I know there's a couple people that had some experiences with him that wanted to come up, right?
Yes.
So yeah, major trigger warning for the rest of the night.
Trigger.
If the dog, I probably should have trigger warned the dog story because that was really bad for me, but definitely for the rest of the night. So with Josh Duggar, he was granted bail. He is going to stay with the Reavers, which is friends of the family. He has to wear an ankle monitor. He cannot have access to any internet or their cell phones, and he's not allowed to ask them for the passwords to that. He is allowed to have what the court called a jitterbug type phone that allows him to make calls and receive calls, and that is it. And he can see his children as long as his wife is present.
And the
But
kid.
he's not allowed to see his siblings that are underage or any other friends or family that are underage. He can only see his own children as long as his wife is there.
Which that's just ridiculous. I mean, I get it. Like, the kids don't really maybe know what's going on, and all they know is they want to see their dad. But he should not be around kids.
Some places were saying 65 counts, and then TMZ said 200, or not counts, images.
Yeah.
As well as a video, and it's being said that it's from ages 5 to 10. It's really awful stuff.
18 months was one of the children, they said in the video, I want to say, or the.
And he was using a BitTorrent to make a partition to get around the Covenant eyes that his parents did actually have on his devices.
Which we figured that out today. Thank you for teaching us something, Josh. Not really.
Well, I actually did know about that. I just don't use them because I'm not buying anything off of the dark web myself. As like I said, Preston hates that it's called the dark web, makes him irritated. So if my husband's watching, dark web, I love you.
I love you. Yeah, but it's crazy. So we were speculating before when you said that TMZ had 200 or was saying 200. We're thinking maybe they have about 200, but they can confirm maybe 65, like that they can use against him right now.
Like I was wondering if maybe they could see that he at one point had that, but maybe he had deleted some of them, or it could just be that they weren't getting the real story because all we know is what people have said that were there.
Yes.
But I could tell you, I heard. Sorry, I'm hearing an echo. Are you guys hearing an echo?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are. I'm not.
Like I'm hearing myself talk.
Maybe it's my microphone. Let me get my headphones in. Hold on.
And I'm apologizing to everyone because now that I hear this, I am so sorry.
It's okay. It's not that bad. What if, Jackie, you might just mute yourself if that works, and maybe it is you need headphones.
Yeah, because I don't hear it anymore.
She must have muted to get her headphones.
Okay. Yeah, it did just start. It was weird because I didn't hear an echo at all until I was in the middle of talking. It's like, okay, wait, I can hear myself, which is going to make it really interesting right now because the whole R.E.N thing is Jackie's.
I'm back.
Okay.
She's here.
You have to let the Bluetooth connect, and it takes freaking forever. But before we go on to the R.E.N topic, I want to give you guys the drink of the week or the day, whatever we call it. It's the drink of the day. We got to share that first because we're all gonna need a drink after tonight. I can tell you that.
I hope it's whiskey straight.
Yeah, that's what I need after today.
Yeah. Well, it's a mojito. It's a special type of mojito, though, because you've been talking about mojitos for how long now since we started?
You have no idea how many mojitos we make in this house.
Well,
I should
to make
plant a lime tree out in my yard. I'm not kidding.
You are going to want this one looks so good. Let's see. Share my screen. Here we go. Sure. It's a watermelon mojito, but it's frozen. So that's the other kicker. It's a frozen watermelon mojito.
So can I replace this with strawberry if I don't like watermelon?
You could. I'm pretty sure you could replace it with any fruit. It's pretty much the puree. You're going to make the fruit puree, which they're doing watermelon, which you put in the blender and you blend it up and you make it into kind of a juice. And what they did is they filled ice cube trays with the puree juice and they set that aside for later in the freezer. And they said 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And then what they did was they took that out and they filled a tall glass with they said 4 watermelon cubes. And then they added more of the puree that they made with the rum, lime juice, and cucumber juice in a cocktail shaker, and they shaked it up with a few ice cubes, and then they poured that in with the watermelon ice cubes, and they added a nice garnish of watermelon chunk or a cucumber slice or both and some mint. Then there you go. You got a watermelon mojito.
That looks delicious. And
right,
Stacy, please tell me that you don't actually not like watermelon, because this will be the first thing that we disagree on in life.
I know. Like, see, we're not identical twins, though.
Yeah, because watermelon is literally my favorite fruit on earth.
Same here. This might be the first thing we agree on now. That we're similar now.
No, we're very similar too.
My mom and my husband will split a watermelon whenever they go and get one for the year because they're the only ones that will eat it.
What do you mean one for the year? Like,
well,
we have
Preston,
like 5.
He doesn't like buy that many watermelons because he knows he will be the only one to eat it. So he gets one like maybe once a year. It's not like.
How big are your watermelons too?
I mean, they're huge, and he'll still end up throwing away part of it before he even gets to it, even splitting it with my mom.
Wow, I can't believe you don't like watermelon.
It's just not my. I think ever since my dad told me when I was a kid that if you ate the seeds, you would grow a watermelon in your stomach, it made me like hate watermelon.
Yep.
Oh no.
My kids hate watermelon. I'm like, who hates watermelon? This cannot be. This is not a real
They take
thing.
after me there.
They do. No, they take after Auntie because they won't touch it. But my husband and I mean, I could eat a half a watermelon by myself as a meal. Like,
now, see, I can eat like a thing of grapes by myself as a meal.
Oh, I love grapes too.
I love grapes too, especially purple grapes. Love them.
Every now and then, once a year, they have cotton candy grapes. And they are so good.
I remember you saying that, and I did try them, and that is so different It's so different, but it's good.
They even smell like cotton candy. It's insane how they made these.
Pussy, you don't have to add alcohol. You can do everything else and just not add the alcohol and still have that drink.
Yeah, Tessie, I don't drink either. And I haven't in several years. So I like to make them like Shirley Temple style.
Yes.
You have no idea how many Shirley Temples I've had in my lifetime. I always thought I was so adult at the restaurant.
Heck
Me
yeah.
too.
And sometimes the waiter would be really nice and put like 3 cherries in it instead of 1.
Yes, extra cherries always. What a life.
You used to swallow the seeds trying to get them to grow.
Oh my God.
The cotton candy grapes are expensive. Like I said, they only come out like once, maybe twice a year here. So,
Yeah,
and like
here.
people are so like in love with them, they won't even tell anyone that they're out because they're afraid that you'll get to them before they buy some. So they won't even say that they're out until they go to the store, get some, get them home, and then they'll be like, "Hey everyone, cotton candy grapes are out."
Well, our topic of the night is real entertainment news. And I know a lot of you were there, and a lot of you have had your own issues with him as well. T-Spiracy did a stream, and it was supposed to be about real entertainment news, AT2, why they weren't getting along, and why they dragged Julie into it. But Real Entertainment News had done some stuff that she heard about, but she didn't know exactly what went down. And I was there in the chat that day. I know Stacy was in the chat that day. I know Kim saw everything because I was sending her everything.
But see, that was the day that I got called away, remember? And I never went back and rewatched the stream. I got called into my boss's office, so I didn't actually know what he did.
I want to say that was on 4/22 for some reason. Like, I remember it being... no, I can't guarantee the date. But it was Actually, I can tell you the date. I know, because we covered it. I showed all the screenshots in a YouTube recap. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And he had said a lot of things. It was about the Jake Paul and the whole essay allegations. And he was trying to say that he thought the girl was lying. And that's his opinion. And then it got a little bit more just the way he was wording things. You can tell he was either not educated or he was educated, and that is how he is, and he doesn't care, or he just doesn't care about female in general, and that's how he would treat a female if they were in his presence. It was just, in my eyes, sickening what he was saying. And I was not very happy with him, and I haven't been very happy with him since, when I was a mod for BX Beast Boy. We had our own issues. And I've kind of let it go, and every time I've seen him in Charlotte's chat afterwards, I would be nice. I wouldn't say anything. I mean, I'd pretty much pretend he wasn't there. But I would see everything he posts, and he didn't seem like he was too bad, and then all of a sudden it was just one thing after another, and he got me really mad on T-Spiracy's stream because I went on panel, Stacy went on panel, we were talking about what had happened because she wasn't aware and other people were mad, and I was there and I was pretty mad at what he was saying in the chat, and he apologized.
And I guess he had been doing stuff other than that too, because judging by that chat that night, he had been saying some stuff in his own streams.
Yes, and been having issues with other people who, one of them is Police Wife Life. I'm going to send her the link in a little while. Words Have Power was on panel with us as well, and he was very disrespectful. Even I think to T. He just wasn't comprehending. When you say I'm sorry that you misunderstood what I said. That's not an apology. And when people have to tell you to apologize, that's also not a sincere apology. And people were making you apologize because what you did was wrong. Like,
Is that like when I tell someone to go F themselves and then say respectfully, it doesn't really count?
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But and then he triggered me and I did scream and I'm very sorry about that. I know me and T have spoken after and she was okay with me getting frustrated because he was very triggering and he wasn't comprehending anything that was being said. It was like he heard two words and was ready to rebuttal with his statement next. It was just so it happened on the 14th. It wasn't on 420, so I was wrong. So it was 4/14/2021 in Charlotte's stream that he was saying these things. And we, like I said, during that recap, it was 410 to 416 YouTube recap. I did pull them up on screen to show people then because I was like, wow, I couldn't believe he was saying these things. But he heard a lot of people, and I know I watched his video last night again because he made a video after T-Spiracy's video, and it only got worse. And then last night he also did another live stream where he was calling us all there again to talk to him. And I have no words for him. I do not want to come on your stream and talk to you. And personally, I don't really want you on my stream. And I don't really want to talk to you here. Because I don't think anything that I say to you will get through to you. You will not understand the pain that I felt that night. You will not understand that I didn't want it. And you will not understand that what you think like might be people bringing girls to the bedroom, you might think every girl should think that they should know what's going to happen if they go to the bedroom. That's not true. I want to let you know that right now. I also want to let Tiff Pink, his moderator, know that I am calling him out. R.E.N was wrong. You like people that call people out and say when they're actually wrong? He was actually wrong. His words in Charlotte's stream were inappropriate, and what he said and did to all of us on T-Spiracy's video was inappropriate and disrespectful, and what he is still saying is disrespectful and wrong. I mean, this is how they've got me heated. Like, and I even smoke so that way I'd be a little bit more calmer. So that's kind of why I'm like, stuttering a little bit here.
Well, and like I even tried to explain it to him that was not how you make an apology, first of all, which honestly, y'all, if you have to make someone apologize to you, they don't mean it. So you really don't need it anyways.
Yes.
And that's one thing I'll stand behind. If you have to tell me to apologize to you, I can tell you I probably wouldn't mean it. You can't make someone feel bad for something. They either do or they don't. But the fact that he's apologized more times than I can count now and still hasn't made any efforts to change his behavior or learn why his behavior is hurtful. In fact, his excuse is, that's just how I was raised, or that's how I grew up. Well, sir, if everyone used that excuse, nothing would ever change, because how you were raised or how you're grown up or how things are done and how it's always done has to start. The change for that has to start somewhere. So be the change. Do better. Like maybe we need to make a shirt that says that, be the change.
Be the change. And you're absolutely right. You're 100% right. And he knows that. Like, you learn and you grow. And maybe you're not realizing that you're wrong, but maybe you need to look into situations, talk to people, not on lives, because I'm not going to tell you my situation on a live unless it's my channel where I feel comfortable, because I don't trust you on your channel, and I hate to say that. You also said you never blocked anyone. You blocked me. I was one of the first people you learned how to block before you had moderators, so I knew a mod didn't block me. And even that night after T's live, you were saying, oh, I don't know how to block people. How did you get on the list? And he finally unblocked me. And then someone said something in his chat that he didn't like. And he goes, yep, you're blocked. And he blocked them. And then 2 minutes later was saying, oh, yeah, I don't know how to block people. You do.
I think he did that during the live. He was actually singing like a little song when he did it back when he blocked you. He was like, you're blocked, you're blocked, you're blocked.
Yeah, he did.
Which he's better at carrying a tune than me, I'll admit it, but I'm pretty sure that was like his song.
Yeah, he made a whole song. He's like, do, 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 you're blocked, and you're blocked, and you're blocked, and you're blocked. Like, yeah, he did. He did.
And I will apologize for trying to sing too. I'm sorry, I should not have done that.
Yeah, he did. Oh my gosh, my cap locks is on. He frustrates me. Oh, one other thing too that got me mad last night in his live. I don't know. You know what? People hold moderators to a certain standard. I was held to a certain standard when I was BX's top mod, and people always talked about me. Tiff Pink, one other thing. You said to R.E.N, or actually, no, you said to Sincerely Cracking Up last night, which I agreed with Sincerely. You told Sincerely he needs to listen and grasp all information. Listen, you need to also tell that to your homeboy, R.E.N. That's what I call him, Real Entertainment News, because he doesn't know how to listen and grasp the information that is being told to him. Hey, girl.
Hold on 1 second. I have wait, what? Can you hear me?
We
can hear you.
Okay. I'm kind of new at this, if you can't tell.
No problem. If
How
you
y'all
need help,
doing?
we're here to help. We're good. We're good.
Good.
You were there that night.
Oh, which night? There were a couple.
I put my red lip on for you before the stream. Words have power.
Thank you. Wado.
You were there. You were with me and Stacy on T-Spiracy's live that night with him. I know you were at his after party, as he called it, whatever he called it.
Yeah.
So you saw everything. How do you feel about this? And you did a live about it, which I'm going to post in the description after the video is ended of her video she did last night.
Yeah, I did a couple lives about him after the Charlotte live stream thing that went sideways because of him, and then his live stream after that. So that was the first live stream I did about him. So there was information out there about him. There's a lot out there. He's been up to some, it's just there's a lot of abuse that I'm seeing. So for those people who see this who don't know, I have been a victim's advocate for most of my life. I'm the person who would go to the hospital when something traumatic happened for certain examinations, if you can infer. I'm also an ex-sheriff's deputy, and that was why I went into law enforcement, was to help people through those kinds of situations. Oh, Lord, what else? I've helped build cases against stalkers, things like that. So this is what I know. I'm trained in this. I have degrees in this and certifications. And hold on, baby.
It's so cute.
She's saying hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hi. She's so cute. She has such a cute voice.
Yeah. So when I'm saying to him on the live stream that I'm a survivor, I'm also a victim's advocate, and that what he is saying is highly abusive, and it's our apology, right? That's what he took. Instead, he took it that I was calling him an R, if you can infer. And that's not what I was saying. but he is in fact sexist, misogynistic, and very hateful of women. And it is not just white women that he has a problem with, it's Black women as well. It's women of color. I spent a week after Charlotte's channel cleaning up his mess with people emailing me, DMing me on Twitter and Instagram, and just kind of helping people who had been triggered through it. And he's just la-di-da, doing whatever, like it's not a big deal, you know. And I don't understand why, if you have a house on fire and there are a bunch of women in there saying there's something wrong, help us, help us, help us, and then there's a bonfire with two dudes who are having a fight over one guy verbally abusing Julie Virgo, while the other guy has done the same thing to Julie Virgo, why are you going to ignore the house that's on fire with survivors who have been triggered and try to help the two dudes?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put T-Spiracy down at all whatsoever, even remotely, but that's why everything went bad on her live stream, because his behavior has been so egregious. I've had people who stepped away from YouTube over his live streams that I saw. They were so triggered that they had to go back to therapy. I mean, it was bad. It was that bad.
Wow.
So
yeah.
See, I was caught off guard with that because I stopped watching him after, I guess, the stream he was singing "You're blocked" and "You're blocked" and "You're blocked," because I was like, this guy's not worth my time.
And that was in January, February.
So I didn't know about all the stuff that had happened since, and I'm thinking T-Spiracy might have been in the same boat I was in, with kind of caught off guard, like, wait, what's he been doing? Because all we knew about were these two people fighting in community tabs.
Well, she was on one of the live streams. I can't remember which one. I think the one right before her live stream with him. She was on there and I was talking about his behavior, what I saw and heard him do. So I don't know, but people like this are usually very, very good at manipulation and gaslighting. They have it down to a science. So if they get you in a position where you're privately speaking with them, it can be really dangerous. They will go out of their way to kind of flip the switch, like flip things to make themselves look good. That's just what they do, right? They put the mask on. Are you meowing?
True.
And, once they have that mask on and they have you in a position where you feel sorry for them, then they got the hooks in.
Yep.
And, I have a feeling that with certain other people who are defending him, that he has went through that process, because some of them are giving him money. So he's going to want that money. So he's going to do whatever he can to keep them defending
and make
him.
them happy. Yep.
Yes.
He'll say what they want.
Mm-hmm. And whatever way he can sweet talk people into doing what he wants them to do and benefiting him for more subs and views and whatever and money and defending him and everything else. It's all about him.
Well, and that's what I was trying to warn him about. And the thing is that his most watched videos are going to be the ones where he stirred up the most controversy. But that means any new viewers or any person who's going to be recommended his channel, what they're going to be recommended is him saying and doing some awful stuff on camera. And that just doesn't seem like really good business move in the long run. Because if I didn't know who he was and turned it on and all I saw was him yelling at SA victims, I wouldn't tune in again. I mean, clearly I didn't tune in again just from him making like comments about the LGBTQ plus community.
And that was, I mean, he's been around the internet for quite a long time. So for people that don't really know who the Real Entertainment News is, his name is Kareem Williams. I'm not doxing him because he has a channel called Kareem Williams. He kind of got his fame a little bit, we can say, when Jodi Arias and him did a rap song where Jodi Arias was there featured, and he had talked to her on the phone, and they had a phone call leaked and it was online, and Nancy Grace talked to him, and Dr. Phil had him featured in an episode, and that's kind of how he got his start to this fame. And if you don't know who Jodi Arias is, she is a murderer. I mean, she murdered her boyfriend, and
She's a waste of human space, is what she is.
Yes. And if you thought Josh Duggar's smirk was bad in the mugshot, you should see Jodi Arias's mugshot photo where she's smirking.
Like at one point in the call, she's like, "Yep, people are gonna be haters."
Yep. Hey, police wife life.
Which makes me want to punch people anyway when somebody says the word haters, unironically, but whatever.
Hey, police wife life. Yes, we can hear you. Good. And I know you've had some run-ins with R.E.N yourself, and he actually, the live after T-Spiracies, you weren't even there, and he was talking about you, and his mod Tiff Pink was talking about you, and I found that so disrespectful.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I watched T-Spiracies live that night, and I didn't know that he did a live afterwards. Otherwise, I would have gone over there, believe me.
Yeah.
But it was about midnight that night, and I start getting all these texts, and I'm like, what? And everyone's telling me that R.E.N and Tiff Pink are calling me out, saying that I was calling him the N-word. And I was like, dude, what?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, but there was a few people in there defending you. And I was like, well, thank God. I mean, I am nothing like that, So I thought that was kind of a low blow that, they're going to go after me when I'm not even there. But that just shows how they are.
Exactly. And you never called him that word.
Never.
Ever.
I never, ever called him that word. And
did you defend anyone that called him that word?
No, and that's the next thing. So if you go to the live where he asked for the white Caucasian women in the community to come talk to him, right? So
yeah,
I was in a mood that day, and I thought, you know what? I get enough messages because there's so many people in the community that don't want him, but they're scared to speak up. And so I was like, you know what? He's inviting me there because I'm a Caucasian woman, so I'll go. So I go and get on his stream, and I mean, before I even made it up onto the panel, his mod Tiff Pink starts going after me because of my avatar, and they don't like the police apparently.
Yeah, because your avatar has a blue line through it, and it supposedly means something.
Yeah, so like if people went and looked back even at that chat, I mean, she came at me right off the bat, and I'm like, whoa, is this stream about the issue going on, or are we turning this into a bash the police thing? Because that's not why I came. And but when I finally, made it up to his panel, I was, trying to be nice to him and explain to him what the issue was, that he basically comes into every chat aggressively, turns everything into a race issue when it's not.
Yeah.
And I totally just lost my train of thought. He
hates all women.
And you know what? At one point, I typed that in the chat. I said, and they deleted it. But I said, and this is after he kicked me off the chat. So
yes,
I typed in the thing, and I was like, his problem is he hates women. He has a problem with women. It doesn't matter if they're purple with pink polka dots. He does not like women. It's so obvious. So I was really upset about that because I am far from an R person, and he started talking about what went on in Charlotte's chat that day. Well, here's the thing. It's really hard to hear. Hold on.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna
Oh.
mute her. Okay, we got it. There you go.
Okay. So I don't remember what I was saying.
When he was going on about what happened in Charlotte's chat that day.
Oh yeah. So he was going on about, you know, Charlotte's chat, and I was like, okay, but you came into a discussion full of women, and it was that was a hard discussion that day. You
Yeah.
know, and even if you weren't an SA victim, you can surely sympathize with anyone.
You
that's
would think he
been
would
through it.
sympathize.
Right. And he was saying such horrible things. I mean, horrible things. The chat was moving really fast. Now, I saw a bunch of the things that he said. Well, he claims that somebody called him, you know, the R word. I never saw that. I honestly, God, never saw that. So I said, well, I didn't see that. And then he jumps down my throat, you know, telling me that I'm defending him, and Tiff Pink saying that I was defending him. And that was one of her things last night she said about me, was that I condoned it and I defend. No, I didn't. I never saw it.
So that's where they were saying, that's how they were saying that you were defending it, because they thought that you might have saw it and were defending them.
Exactly. And I'm like, I never saw it, so how can I, you know, defend or back anything up that I didn't see?
And that's what a manipulator does best too. They make up excuses to fit the narrative, so that way they can kind of attack you.
Right. And, you know, I tried to point out to him, you know, you bring chaos basically everywhere you go. Every chat that you come into a woman's community basically. Now we have some men in our community, but very few. You're basically in a community full of women. And again, color's not even an issue. But you're in there with a bunch of women, we discuss certain things, and you come in trying to manipulate and just be the jerk that he is.
Yeah. Well, what he was saying was, sorry, you can continue. What he was saying was like things like, if you're a woman, you should expect going into the bedroom what's going to happen next. And it's like, no, that's not necessarily what happens when you go into the bedroom. And then he was saying he's kicked a lot of women out of his house just for not going into the bedroom and coming into the bedroom and not doing anything.
Right.
What? Like, come on.
I have a hard time believing that many women were going into his house.
Right.
Well, me too.
Me too. And I just want to say, for the record, at any point in time, it is a human being's God-given right to say no and to stop what is happening. Whether you went in there with those intentions or not, if you decide you don't want to be there anymore, you can get up and leave. And he can kick rocks if he thinks that is not the case, because that is the R word.
Consent can be given and it can be taken away.
Yeah, that was one of the things I tried to point out to him, because he says, well, you're telling me that I can't tell someone to get out of my room. I said, no, you absolutely can. But someone can also get in there and tell you no. It can change at any point. You're not the only one that gets to call the shots there.
I think Words Have Power is trying to say something. But
you can talk.
Am I muted?
No, you're unmuted. I unmuted.
Okay, so one other thing to consider is that from the time that he went off in Charlotte's live stream to now, I've had people of color. He seems to think it's just white women. There are all kinds of women from all over the world in this community. And there are women of color, and get this, there are also men of color and trans people who were triggered by him as well. And they've approached me because I'm queer and because, you know, I guess I have an air of being a safe place for people to come and talk if there's a problem.
You do. You do.
Thankfully, because these people, I feel like I've just been repeatedly going through this pattern because of him, of having to clean up his mess. And he thinks it's all just white women. and we're all just racist, and it's all just against him, right? But it's also people of color, but he's completely not even considering, like when Tiff got on and was talking about what she went through, right? That she's a survivor. He backed off only because he wanted to be able to say it was just all white women who are just being racist.
Yes.
He didn't want women of color, to go off on a woman of color, then he doesn't have that excuse, that mask anymore, right? Well, but there are other women, there are other Black women on YouTube, content creators who've had problems with him. Content creators, mods, subscribers, other people. There are other women of color that he knows are women of color, and he still goes after them anyway, verbally abusing them, calling them ugly, and just being foul. He hates women, but he's trying to couch it in, this is just racism. And that's why I keep saying to people, if you have someone like this in your life who is abusive, they're abusive, right? You know how they make you feel. You don't have to put up with it. But I think that the people that are defending him the most have been so manipulated that gaslighting actually, if you're gaslit and abused long enough, it can cause brain damage without being hit. There's a paper about it. I'm not just pulling this out of my derriere, right? It can cause brain damage in a person. So hopefully Tiff and Freedom and all these other people who are defending him realize this and pull themselves out of it. It can be really subtle. Sometimes when you're in the middle of being abused by someone, and you don't have to be in an intimate relationship to be abused, right?
Yeah.
So
it's called emotional abuse too.
Exactly. So if sometimes when you're in that, you can't see it, right? It's harder to recognize what is being done to you, what is happening to you, and to the people around you. So yeah, it may just be online, in a chat, whatever. But when you're exposing yourself to someone who is routinely verbally abusing people, and on some level that it's all women he's talking about, that includes you too, Tiff. I mean, he's trying to manipulate the situation and compartmentalize and make it seem like it's not you. You're special. Tiff and Freedom, they're special. Probably T-Spiracy as well. She's special because he needs them to build his channel so he'll make money. And that's it. That's all it is. So you don't put up with it.
Yeah, and I think that he's seeing short-term results and he's not thinking long-term. So I think that's exactly what he's going to get off of it for your question, Leanne. I think his videos where he says some of the most ridiculous things get him the most views, but it's not a long-term plan. It's probably why he had to switch over to Real Entertainment News from Kareem Williams, because that channel was monetized as well, or has enough subs to be monetized. But he probably wore out that name, and in a year or two, he's probably going to have another YouTube channel that he starts from the ground up, and he's going to do the same exact thing.
And I just want to say goodnight to Kim because she had to go, and she says goodnight to everybody real quick. But you're absolutely right.
We'll probably have to wrap this up soon too, because I've got news that Emily D. Baker is about to go live with a Duggar update, so everyone's going to be going over there. But please don't tell her that we sent you. Please do not write that in the chat.
Yeah, we won't go bombard her.
There's no raid.
No raid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically just went on there that night when he called for the Caucasian women. I basically just wanted to let him know, you make a lot of people uncomfortable and you hurt a lot of people. And his own mod, Tiff Pink, in a prior video that I don't think I even commented in, but I was listening, and she's like, why do you continue to go support these white women? Blah, 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 blah. So I said, you know what? I said, listen to your mod, Tiff Pink. Why do you continue to go where you're not wanted? Because guess what? You're not wanted in our community. There's a handful
because he
of
thinks
people.
He can come there and manipulate these women. because we're
Right.
easier to manipulate in his mind.
Right,
have a
but there's
question.
only honestly a
Yeah.
handful of people that want him around because
That's
98%
true.
of us don't.
I
What's
have a
up?
question. How is he supporting white women? In what way is he being supportive of white women?
Oh, he's
Anyone.
by going to their channels because she made the statement that he treats white women better than he treats his own sisters.
He treats all women like ish.
You can say it.
Ish.
He treats all women like shit. He
treats all
does.
women like shit. Black, white, whatever. It doesn't matter. I've looked at the receipts. He
Yeah,
treats black women worse than white women.
I mean,
Red
honestly,
Hot
it
is-
kind of looks like he just treats people like shit.
That too.
Right.
Yes.
But
Red-
women are easier.
Red
But
Hot is
basically,
no, you can go.
anyone that knows me knows that I didn't call him that. I didn't condone
Yes.
anybody calling him that, and that's what they need to know is.
And
I
if
would
you
never do
saw it,
that.
you would have gone off on the person in the
I
chat
absolutely-
as well.
Absolutely would have. Yes.
But he did the same thing that he was trying to do to us after T-Spiracy streamed to you, which was he started an issue with us, and then he wanted us to go there and talk to him. And you tried talking to him, and you didn't get anywhere with him either. Like, that's
Right.
so he was calling us over there, and I almost went on and talked to him on his own channel. But I thought about it for a second, and a lot of people that are here gave me the advice not to go on there because no matter what I say to him, he's not going to listen.
He's not. You're not going to get anywhere. And like I said, he told me and LRC, F you, I don't know how many times. That's how you talk to women? Really?
Yeah. Well, we the first.
And I was never rude to him. I hope you watched that video. I was never rude to him.
No, I
never raised
did.
my
I did.
voice.
You were never. You didn't. You weren't like me where you just started screaming at him. And I don't
I
care if he
wanted
finds
to.
that rude, but there gets to a point with me where if you're not listening to me, the only way I know how to get you to listen to me is to start yelling and screaming, especially when it's something that frustrates me, like SA and my situation and how you're going to tell me how I feel. No
Right.
effing way. Sorry.
Right. You had every right to get upset like you did because I'll tell you what, I would have reacted the same way.
I felt bad that I did it, though, on somebody else's channel. You know what I mean?
Well,
I didn't mean for it to happen, but it gets
well, and T-Spiracy
anxiety.
didn't mean for it to go that way either, you know? So it's like
She
neither
didn't.
one of you, neither one of you wanted it to go the way it did. And you know what? Things happen. But it was
Yep.
good.
And
It's good that happened, actually, because maybe some people and maybe Freedom will open her eyeballs. I doubt
Freedom,
it, but
no, I doubt it. She was rooting for him after the live and saying that, well, he apologized. I don't get what you guys are not getting. And he just didn't mean the words that came out of his mouth that night. You guys took him wrong.
Jackie, did you just see what the lady, I don't like to say her name, just tweeted out?
I saw she tweeted. I didn't look. Let me see.
Daisy's destruction was a snuff film. Peter Scully, Ard, tortured and got, murdered babies and kids. He sold the film for $10,000 to people who want to buy it. $10,000 to download a child essay torture film. And that is what the feds found on Josh Duggar's computer.
Oh my gosh.
that just makes me want to puke.
So is she also saying that Josh paid $10,000 to download it?
I mean,
Well, I don't believe a word she says until I see the filings or something like that.
She linked to the guy's story where he was arrested, and I read the article, and what they're describing from his video is what was described in the video with the two girls.
So maybe this is how
it involves the 18-month-old kid.
Okay, so maybe this is how the feds found out. They busted him, and then they found out all the people he sent it to. And now they're busting the people that he sent it to. And that's how they found Josh Duggar.
And this might be something that Emily's about to go over on her. So don't fault anybody for going over there. I think we might call it a night. I might head over there too, just to see if
Yes.
she can verify that that's what was said inside this.
Okay.
Duggar
Well, I just
drama of
want to
life.
thank you guys
That's
for letting me up.
disgusting.
Jackie, just thank you very much. It's just, it has bothered me and bothered me. And
I know. And I know you're not that type of person. And when you were telling me that, and I was listening to Tiff Pink say that your mother should have swallowed the 72-hour pill to not have you exist in this life, that made me
right?
so mad.
That made
So
me
mad.
upset too. But you know what?
And that's not
At
right.
this point, I look at both of them and I consider the source, and I'm ready to just wash my hands of them.
Yes.
Because
And you know what?
if
Maybe
we
if we
will
all
stop
ignore them.
viewing them, yes, maybe they'll go away if we just stop giving them the clicks and views.
Exactly. And we thank you for coming on. We appreciate you
thank
telling your
you.
story.
Thank you so much.
Because more people need to hear about this. And I feel like we're not going to be done with this situation. I want to be done with this situation. I just feel like he's going to keep pressing our buttons, and more people need to know.
And I wanted to
And
thank Shamar too, because she's one that defended me the other night in that stream that I
she
wasn't even
did.
present for.
And
I wanted to thank her.
I wanted to defend you, but at that point, I'd already said no to not talking to him, and he was already
I get it.
done
No, I
attacking
get
me.
it.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Look, this just took a weight off of me that never should have been on me. You know, I don't know why it affected me like it did, but it did. You know, so
yeah.
it's water under the bridge now.
Yes. And words have power. We thank you for coming on and putting some education into some people too that might not know about
And I'm
how
sorry
these men are.
Sorry to ruin everyone's night there at the end. I really wanted this to be financial crimes. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
So just for anyone who is triggered by anything tonight, Where's That Power Murder Hour is always there. We have a Discord as well. If you're triggered and you need help coming out of the PTSD, I know how to do that because I have PTSD.
That's amazing. Yes.
Just putting that out there. Hugs to everybody. All right. Thank you all for
yes,
guys.
Good night, and we thank you both for coming on so much. And you guys are more than welcome to come on whenever you want to talk with us. We do this every Wednesday. We just rant about anything. So if you have something you want to come rant about, please come do it here. Well,
and I promise sometimes it is just stuff like coffee and people taking up the aisles at the grocery store. It's not always like
or stupid people. We had one about stupid people. It went into all types of stupid people, but
don't even get me started about grocery stores. I could be here all night long.
I pretty much went on like a 30-minute tirade about like, look, but if it's between me and your kid playing chicken down the aisle, I'm gonna win every time.
I love it. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you on Discord and everything. Okay.
Okay. Night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Well, it's been fun, and I feel like we've got a lot accomplished tonight and a lot of things off of our chests and other people's chests that needed to be said.
Yes. And
I'm ready to go watch this Duggar news. I'm with you right there. We're going to be watching this Duggar news.
And you know, it's...
No, go. It's sad.
I just know how gleefully she wrote that tweet out. And I'm actually trying to keep my composure until I can turn the camera off. And I know she was probably grinning from like ear to ear as she was like, okay, I'm going to get to link this article and tell I could have gone the rest of my life not knowing the details of what was on that as long as he got justice.
And this is what I don't like about her. She'll sit there, like you could say he had 200 and some on photos in a video. You don't need to link the video or the article about the video to make more people's lives traumatic knowing what he did. And you wouldn't like it if someone did it to you.
I think she does that now because nobody believes her if she doesn't show proof.
That could be the reason, but again, she didn't like it when people shared things in her case. Why is she doing it to other people?
With her, it's receipts or it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, but her receipts are junk sometimes too. I mean, she needs to take better receipts of things. I hate to say it.
KJ hates victims, and I would
Yeah.
not go to her for advocacy, no matter how many times she says to come to her. And I'm not
No.
saying that like come to us instead, because I don't feel like I'm equipped to tell your story. I will absolutely listen to your story, but don't let her
Don't let her manipulate you.
Yeah.
You're
Don't
going one.
Don't let her
Yeah.
exploit your story.
Yeah, because she's going to make money off of it, and she'll move on to the next, or she will take you for all you're worth with that story. And that's what she does. And she loves doing it. And it's sad because some of the things she shouldn't be exploiting people. And if you do need help, Words of Power Murder Hour is a perfect person to go to.
But
Like-
yeah, I think I'm going to get off here because I'm curious now, even though I wish I wasn't.
I know. I'm curious to find out more detail.
I think
Like,
I'm
I
going
wanna
to have to
know if
go
this is
open me up a
connected.
White Claw for this, but I'm going to go get one.
Too bad you don't like watermelon. You could be making a watermelon mojito.
I'll
Which I
stick
will
with
post on Twitter.
I'll stick with the mango White Claw for now.
I like black cherry. I don't know why.
But
all right, guys.
Y'all have
it's
a
been
great
fun.
night. Thank you so much.
And we'll see everybody on Friday for our weekly YouTube recap.
Yes.
So,
Bye,
bye
y'all.
guys.